These are this afternoon's top stories. Prime Minister's press conference slated for today. Water crisis continues in St. Lucia, and FIFA officials arrested for corruption. Good afternoon and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, 2015. I am JD Keynes. In national developments, ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation will again partner with the government of St. Kitts and Nevis to provide live coverage of a press conference hosted by Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris. Planned for today, Wednesday at 3 p.m., the event will be held in the Parliamentary Lounge of Government Headquarters and broadcast live on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM and ZIZ Television Channel 5. Live streaming will also be available at www.zizonline.com. It is expected that Prime Minister Harris will use today's press conference to announce the members of the government's various boards of directors. The Bethesda Moravian Church's Martha's Kitchen initiative and the Washington Archibald High School's Steel Pan program are the recipients of a grant from Pelican Bay St. Kitts. According to Director of Sales and Marketing Don Lockman, the community played a major role in the selection of the grant recipients.
There's so many great charitable organizations and groups within St. Kitts that I'm really glad I didn't have to pick one myself. And so we took this to the community and really asked them to do some soul searching and decide where they felt these grants should go. And the community spoke, and today we're here to have a brief ceremony of handing those checks over to those worthy causes.
A representative of Martha's Kitchen explained what their program entails.
Good afternoon. We're here from the Bethesda Moravian Church and New Dawn, that's the Keys section. And we started an initiative in February of this year, and it has grown from strength to strength. It's really something that we thought that would have provided some sort of assistance to needy persons, and that include like the elderly, shut-in, and that sort of thing. So what we do every Tuesday, we would cook the food and have it dished out accordingly at the kitchen at the church in Keon, that's Bethesda Moravian Church, and then the lunches are delivered to the persons.
The Washington Archibald High School's representative spoke of the need for the grant and how it will be used.
We have been working and requesting assiduously to have our Steel Pan music program reintroduced into the school. As you would have read from our brief that the steel pans are no longer functional. And we have made several attempts, and this is our first successful attempt to obtain some funds, and we appreciate the initiative, and we are so glad that we can actually start at least have some funds to source our pans and also implement our buddy program within the neighboring schools, where we are going to expose students from the Beach Island Primary and the Morris Hillier Primary to the steel pan.
Each recipient received $5,000. Pelican Bay, to be officially named Embassy Suites St. Kitts, is expected to open and be operational in 1.5 years. Newly elected parliamentary representative for Constituency 3, the Honorable Conris Maynard, was the featured speaker at Sunday's Requiem Mass at the St. Paul's Anglican Church. While speaking on the theme Labour's Legacy, Solidarity of the Majority, he said it is important to ensure that the majority of the people is never again oppressed in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. He said, quote, "Even today, there is always going to be a struggle to protect the interests of the hard-working populace of our country," adding that if there is no struggle, there will be no progress. The Labour Member of Parliament, who is serving his first term in the lawmaking body, pointed to what he said is a new and refreshed struggle facing the Labour movement. He said it is incumbent upon them, as the new and existing leaders of Labour, to walk proudly in the footsteps of their forefathers and then walk past their hallowed footsteps to ensure that the majority is never again oppressed, and that democracy that was born back in Buckley's in 1935 must live on. Regionally, the second meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament is currently underway in Dominica. Today's sitting is being held at the House of Assembly in Roseau, Dominica. According to the agenda, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit will lay before the House the schedule of supplementary appropriation first and second quarter of 2014-2015, that's July to December of 2014, as well as the report of the Director of Audit on the audit of the public accounts for the fiscal year which ended on June 30th, 2012. Prime Minister Skerrit will also introduce a bill to provide the regulation of business banking, the establishment of a single banking space, and for incidental and related matters, and the repeal of the Banking Act number 16 of 2005. It is also expected that Prime Minister Skerrit will move a motion titled Supplementary Estimates for Expenditure for the financial year ending June 30th, 2015. That's the first half of 2014 and 2015, amounting to EC $14,379,814.16. That amount, ZIZ News understands, equates to the excess of the sum provided by law for payments from the Consolidated Fund of Dominica for the services of the Commonwealth of Dominica during the fiscal year ending June 2015. For the second time in 4 years, St. Lucia's sole electricity supplier, Lucelec, was rendered powerless following a major blackout. Just before 3 p.m. on Tuesday, one of the generators at Lucelec's cul-de-sac power station broke down. Here's that story.
Speaking at a press conference on Tuesday, May 26, Lucelec officials described the blackout as unavoidable. A generator at Lucelec's cul-de-sac power station completely shut down. Engineers are currently investigating the cause, but are for now labeling the mishap as a fault.
You always have to be concerned when a generator trips, and in fact, every time we trip, it may not always result in a total system shutdown, but we go back and check to see, because they're not supposed to trip if they're running perfectly. From time to time, you'll have mechanical problems, but we have extremely skilled and dedicated staff who will go in and check the generators to make sure, or to find out what the cause was, and then do the necessary repairs. Anything mechanical is going to break down, your car, everything. It's just a fact of life.
A Lucelec press release confirmed the occurrence of the massive power failure at 2:15 a.m. Their experts explained that between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. daily, the island typically records a significant decline in energy usage, which only requires a few generators. Experts have disclosed one generator did not respond in time to an apparent surge.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, at this time of the day, the island was demanding about 30 megawatts or 30 million watts of power. You try to have about 37 megawatts of generation running. Now, if one of these generators, which is 10 megawatts in size, trips, you now have 27 megawatts of generation trying to supply 30 megawatts of load. So in a situation like that, you can't have backup. It's how the automatic protection systems operate, because the protection systems have to operate within a matter of seconds. And if the timing is not perfect, you will have something like what happened.
Homes, businesses, and essential services were in the dark for more than 3 hours. Officials at Lucelec saying the country's hospitals were not adversely affected thanks to their backup generators. The faulty generator has since been taken offline. This is the second such occurrence in just over 4 years. However, Lucelec officials contend Tuesday's blackout was rare, and the possibility of a repeat is remote. Rihani Isidore, HTS News Force.
Internationally, officials say 6 football officials have been arrested at a hotel in Zurich, Switzerland over corruption charges at governing body FIFA. FIFA Communications Director Walter De Gregorio insisted the organization was continuing to reform. He said this is good for FIFA. He was at the time speaking at a news conference following news of the arrests.
As I said in the very beginning, you don't believe me. But I know. But I'm going to say it once again. This for FIFA is good. It's not good in terms of image. It's not good in terms of reputation. But in terms of cleaning up, in terms of everything what we did in the last 4 years, in terms of the reform process, this is good. We wouldn't have any interest to give the files to the General Attorney the 18th of November if we would not have known that the consequences are exactly what we're doing here. So for us, once again, it is not a nice day, and as you know, we have other things to do as well. But in other words, it's also a good day, because I think the process goes on, and we're looking forward to have the results. Because as long as you don't have concrete results, it leaves rooms for all kind of speculations. And this is for sure not something that we're looking for.
And finally, on the international scene, members of staff at a Chinese elderly care home have reportedly been arrested after a fire swept through a nursing home in China on Monday night. At least 38 people were killed and 2 people are in critical condition. Al Jazeera's Adrian Brown reports from the central province of Henan.
This is all that remains of the happy and healthy garden care home where so many perished. Almost all of the building was destroyed, suggesting cheap materials were used in its construction. Henan province is one of the poorest areas in China. The evening meal had been eaten and most of the residents had gone to bed. Some were very frail and so would have had little chance of escape from the flames and smoke. Many did make it to safety, but by Tuesday night, rescue crews were involved in an operation to recover bodies that in the most part have been burned beyond recognition. It's only 2 years since 11 people died in a fire at another home for the elderly. The cause of this latest blaze is still not known, but China's President Xi Jinping has ordered an investigation, promising anyone found responsible will be punished. The police have now cordoned off the area. Survivors, though, have been telling local media that conditions inside the care home were bad. There simply weren't enough staff. Many of the dead were in a dormitory reserved for the infirm. They couldn't move without help, and there wasn't much help after the fire broke out. Adrian Brown, Al Jazeera, in central China.
And in our weather, at present we are experiencing fair skies. Winds are east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour over land, gusting to 26 miles per hour over open waters. Seas are slight to moderate with heights between 0.6 to 1.2 meters or 2 to 4 feet. In our weather summary, today will be mostly sunny at first, becoming increasingly cloudy with a good chance of brief localized showers in the early afternoon. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a chance of brief showers, becoming mostly clear overnight. Sunset for today will be at 6:39 p.m. and sunrise for tomorrow at 5:36 a.m. And that brings us to the end of ZIZ's Midday Newscast for today, Wednesday. I have been your presenter, JD Keynes. Join us this evening when we'll have the details to these stories and more in our major newscast. Have a great afternoon.